Yo, what's going on, everybody? We are here. It's Wednesday, 9 p.m. It's the Mission Accomplished Mike and Mish show. What's going on, Mike?
What's happening, man?
Well, not that much. I mean, there is a lot going on. We had an awesome UFC event this past weekend. We got two awesome guests coming on tonight. I had a birthday in the family yesterday. My little boy Nolan turned 7.
Oh, happy birthday, Nolan.
Yeah, a little gangster himself, turned 7 years old. Um, Big exciting news for everyone right now, and I wish I had some pictures of some products. I wore a hoodie last week on the show. You guys saw it. The website is now up. Go to Mission Accomplish's store at www.missionaccomplish.myshopify.com. There's a whole line of products: hoodies, tank tops, t-shirts, joggers, fucking fanny packs, tumblers, mugs, you name it. They're all on there. Baby clothes, bibs.
Gym bag.
Gym bag. Anybody having a baby soon? Get a little onesie.
Mouse pad?
Little Mission Accomplished onesie on your baby. Yeah, I wish I had some pictures to bring up, but just go to that www.missionaccomplish.myshopify.com and check out our products and get yourself some fly gear. On top of that, I wanted to do something this week. I got a small batch of these shirts in. I got some Killfoot clothing stuff available. So from now till Sunday, all Killfoot clothing Mission Accomplished shirts will be $20. So hit me up on Facebook Messenger and Instagram, DM me, whatever. Let me know what sizes you are. Here's the caveat to that. I only have about a dozen larges, a dozen extra larges. I got some double XLs. I got a few triple XLs, believe it or not, for you really big boys out there. And I got some kids' clothes, like size mediums and size large kid size clothes in black. Anybody who's put one of these shirts on knows that the Mission Accomplished Killfoot shirt is like the most comfortable fucking shirt you ever put on in your life. Here's what the back looks like right here. We got the American flag, rep your country, rep your veterans. It's a veteran-owned company, veteran-ran, American-made apparel. So get yourself some Killfoot Mission Accomplished shit while you're at it. And I also, on top of yesterday being my kid's birthday, dude, I did actually have a little bummer. It was long in the making. My grandfather, 97 years old, passed away. Harry Sahanchik. Check this dude out. The American gangster himself. Actually, he's Ukrainian. He moved to America with his parents and born in 1924. But look at that dude. He worked till he was 90 years old. He owned a farm in Franklin, Connecticut. Harry Sahanchik is now with his brother and sister, having some tea, as he would call it, which was whiskey and ginger in a coffee mug. Tea time with the boys after a hard day at the farm, man. So, yeah, shout out to my grandfather. I love him. I'm going to miss him. But 97 years old when he passed.
Fucking what a guy. Can't believe he pushed it out that long.
Yeah, thank you, Big Ben. Hey, yeah, and that's what I'm saying, man. Like, he and I appreciate you. All the like messages I've gotten from people and all the hugs and thoughts and prayers and everything that people are shouting out. I really appreciate that. I almost didn't want to do the show tonight. I was pretty fucking busted up about it yesterday, but also he was 97, guys, and his quality of life towards the end there wasn't all that great. So yes, it's sad that he's gone, but we're all kind of relieved and happy that he's on to bigger and better things now. And think about that, dude. Imagine working till you're 90 and getting up before the sun comes up is when that guy got up. He would eat breakfast and he'd be at the farm as the sun comes up. He'd be doing shit. And then when his shift ended? When it was dark.
The sun goes down.
Yes, when it was dark outside. So I could tell you right now, I started working on my grandfather's farm at, as early as I could start pushing bales of hay around inside the hayloft. And then I worked on his farm from, 8 years old till I joined the military. And I got my work ethic from my grandfather. And you know what I mean? So take one last look at the man, Harry Sahanchik. Rest in peace, Grandpa, I love you. This show's dedicated to you tonight. Didn't even really want to do it, but we got a big show. We got a big guest coming on. He's in the waiting room right now, waiting to come in, and he will be fighting in the main event against Melvin Gillard in Montana, October 9th at BKFC Fight Night. His name is Joe Riggs, and he is an absolute legend in the combat sport game. Here he is. What's going on, sir? How are you?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Good to
Doing
see
great.
you, man. Thank you for coming on the show tonight. We're pretty excited to talk to you.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, got a big fight coming up here, man. Anybody who's anybody knows who Joe Riggs is. You fought in absolutely every freaking organization out there. You won in all of them. You have an illustrious career, and now your main event in the Montana card, BKFC's first ever break into Montana against Melvin Gillard.
Yeah.
How excited are you about this one?
Oh, yeah, I'm excited because I live in Montana. I moved away from Phoenix about a year ago. So, when I was in Phoenix, I got to, fighting, the UFC came to Phoenix, WEC came to Phoenix, Strikeforce came to Phoenix. So, I was able to fight in big shows and where I lived. And now I live in Montana. So, and it's going to be the first big show to ever come to Montana. So it's a big, there's not much to do in Montana. So it's a big thing for people.
I was just going to ask you, like, what else goes on out in Montana? Because honestly, I can't tell you a single function or big event that I've ever heard of in this state of Montana.
You got like Glacier Park, you have Yellowstone. It's a beautiful state. But if you're a guy, if you're someone who likes to go out and like be in the big city, it's not for you because the entire statewide, the population is. I just left Phoenix with a population of like 5 million, and there's like 1.2 million in the state here. So it's not a lot going on here.
Nice. Now, Melvin Gillard, he's another OG in the game. BKFC went ahead and put together a main event with a total combined fight number between the two of you. You guys got about 180 fights. It's got to be a pretty high level of mutual respect between you and Melvin heading into this one, right?
Yeah. I've known Melvin for years. When you've been in this line of work, you get to know each other. He's not a friend of mine by any means, but he, the difference of myself and other guys that are, are getting, getting to the twilight of their career. It's, like in mixed martial arts, just that for an example. In my last 20 mixed martial arts fights, I lost one by injury, and then a lot of then in BKFC between the BKFC here and the bare knuckle in England, I think I've had like 8 fights, and my only loss I had is to Hector, which I don't even consider that a loss, but it is what it is. But so I'm doing things like I feel better than I ever have, and I can't say that for a lot of other people that are at my age, and and I don't have to fight. I do it because I fucking love it, I absolutely love it. I don't know, I've been doing it since I was 16, and I don't know what I'd do, what I'd do with my time if I wasn't fighting. Actually, when I was 17, I fought here in Montana when I lived in Arizona. I fought in a show called Art of War, and Melvin fought in that same card, and me and Melvin were like 17 years old. So it's crazy that we're coming back and fighting each other all these years later.
It's wild. Yeah. So you just brought up Hector Lombard, right? Yeah. He put out a post on Instagram today.
He said that nobody will fight him or something like that.
Yes, he said that nobody will fight him, and he said it repeatedly. And I have to say, I know one person who's been on our show a few times who's constantly calling him out, and that's Lorenzo Hunt, which I'm sure you know who Lorenzo is. And then I was also thinking, I'm sure Joe Riggs would probably take that fight back.
I thought I was going to have an immediate rematch with him once that happened, but he said he wasn't. able to fight. And I know Lorenzo is, somewhat of a narcissistic guy. So every time he can, get himself plugged, he's doing it. He wants to fight Hector. So, there's, like you said, there's two guys right there that would have no problem fighting him, and so I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Yeah, I'm like that. I saw
taking this fight is so I can get another shot at Hector. That's it. I mean, that's another road. Because and then I don't know if Lorenzo will fight him first. Actually, never mind. I already know he's fighting after that. I know he's fighting next, and I'll get the winner of that. But yeah, he's fucking. I mean, Hector's great, but he's delusional if he thinks no one wants to fight him.
We have a clip from that BKFC 18 fight. Now, I know maybe it might be hard for you to actually pay attention to the clip, but I'm sure you've already seen it many times. And a lot of people might have noticed that, at that ending sequence, that he had grabbed your shorts, right?
Oh, yeah, just a little bit.
But if you really go back and look for the 10 seconds or maybe 5 seconds before that sequence happens, he's actually holding your shorts for the whole entire time and actually switches hands a few times. So it wasn't just a spur of the moment, grabbed the shorts and pulled it at the end there when he punched. He was actually pulling you a couple times before that, all in the same.
He had it for a lot. And I don't blame Hector for that. Because when you're hurt in a fight, you do what you can do. When you're hurt, you're in survival mode. So it's not like you do things and you he was. I hit him with a left hand, and he was keeping himself from falling down.
Right.
So it wasn't like he was trying to be dirty or fucking. I don't know. I give people the benefit of the doubt, but he definitely was. He was making himself, stand. He was keeping himself from falling, and then the referee is who I blame because he was yelling from across the ring to break, and I wasn't going to break until he came over and grabbed Hector, and then when he did, that's when I put my hands down. That's when Hector switched his hands and then punched and. Finger that hit me, a knuckle that broke my orbital, and I remember the doctors kept coming in and trying to, because I could see their how many fingers they're holding up. I could tell them that it's not, but I couldn't see 3 feet behind them. I had a depth perception problem, so I knew something because I've had 9 surgeries in my right eye, so my right eye is. Has taken some damage over the years. So, I know I knew something was fucked up in it. And, if anybody read the interviews or heard any interviews going into that fight, that is exactly how I predicted the fight to go. And, so I wasn't going to, and then I was very confident I was going to knock him out in the next 2 rounds. And, cause he was very tired and I was not. And I'd started to pick the pace up and pick him apart with shots, and that's an act of a desperate man holding on to shorts and punching with it. I guess I don't think he was something that he thought about and did. I just think he did it out of just trying to stay on. Yeah.
I'm going to play it real quick for the people at home while we're talking here, just so that everyone can see what exactly we're talking about.
It's pretty egregious, actually. Mike and I were.
It's not working correctly for some reason now.
Mike and I were ringside, so we didn't see it so well from where we were standing. But I can tell you from where we were standing, it looked like you were winning that fight at that point in the fight. So for them to not give the immediate rematch, that have to do with the orbital injury? Was it just a timing thing?
No, because Hector hasn't fought since, so it's not like he wanted to get the fight right away. So he hasn't fought away. My orbital, I got cleared for my orbital, because orbitals heal pretty fast. Because in orbital, and it wasn't like I didn't need surgery. It wasn't an orbital. I didn't shatter my orbital. I just had a flat fracture in it, so because orbital is like an eggshell, it's really thin. So, I was able to heal from, they healed generally pretty fast. So it wasn't anything like that. It was just because there were some things that I forgot to sign going into that fight, and that had a big thing to do with it. Why? Because we're supposed to go to the scorecards when something like that happens. If not, if the guy doesn't get disqualified, but that didn't happen. So it's nothing I can do about it now. But but I was screaming I wanted a rematch with him, and he didn't want to do it. Because he still hasn't fought. So. And I have no idea. I know who his next fight is. I can't say, but I know I'll get the winner of that. So it's I gotta be content with that. So that's but if anybody's pulling my shorts, if I wasn't wearing a girdle or a cup, my dick would have been hanging out. It was pulling
right.
It was bad. It was fucking because when I first hit him with the left hand. I didn't realize it at the time, but I felt him pull my shorts because it pulled me out of my southpaw stance into a orthodox stance, and then because I don't really clinch and punch, I don't do that. But from that, I had my hand on his head, just hitting the uppercuts. But yeah, it was a strange series of events. I did not expect that fight to end like that.
I gotta tell you, a lot. Hector's getting a lot of hate from the people in the comment section. I'll tell you that much. They're on your side with this one. Yeah. Man, what was I just gonna say? Go ahead, Mike.
So after the fight, we already mentioned Hunt. Hunt jumps in the ring, and then you become somebody who's breaking up the fight. What was going through your mind when Hunt jumped in? Did you see him running up to jump in, or did you just catch it like as soon as he started? Lombard started hitting Hunt.
He had talked to me a couple days before and told me that's what he was going to do. I never heard of Lorenzo Hunt because I guess he came up and apologized, and it's because I guess he had been saying things about me. I pay no attention. People can. I don't do shit on social media really. I don't pay attention to stuff like that. So I guess he was saying stuff about me, which again I didn't give a shit. And he was nice. He was introduced himself. So he told me after the fight, whoever won, he was going to come in and do that. And then when the fight, when the fight happened, I wasn't thinking about that, but because I was looking to get out of the ring, because I was annoyed and I just didn't want to be in there. And then I look over and I see that, and then I'm waiting for somebody else to stop it. Like, I'm used to being in that fighting situation. So when it happened, I kind of wait a couple of seconds for Dave Feldman, Hector's coaches, because if I punch something, when I got in a fight with Nick Diaz in the hospital, I was fining a lot of money, and so was Nick. And we were seconds away from going to the hospital, going to jail. So if I would have done something that egregious, it would have been bad. But so I was waiting for someone to break it up. The guy with the mic that was interviewing screams and runs to the side, and I was like, "What the fuck?" So I kind of jerked Hector back. I didn't know if Hector was going to start trying to swing on me, so I was ready to start throwing up cuts on him from the back. I didn't want to do that, but I was going to let him start punching me. But and also I watched Lorenzo. Lorenzo took those shots good, but I don't know why. I wouldn't let anybody fucking hit me without throwing back. Because I didn't pull him back. I didn't pull, because it was weird. He threw 2 punches, and they just sat there for like 3 seconds with nothing else happening. I'm like, what the fuck? So again, it was a weird thing. I was the last person who should have been stopping that fight, but nobody else did.
Yeah, it was wild. Now, what I wanted to ask you about this fight coming up. You fought Hector at 205, correct?
Yeah.
205 pounds.
Yeah.
Are you fighting Melvin at 205?
No.
Melvin's not that big. What size is it? 175, 185?
185. Yeah, 185 is my normal weight. I was just going up there to fight Hector. Because I was waiting at 201, and if you could see the way I was built in that fight, it wasn't like I normally am. Like when you're seeing me for this next fight, you can see you'll see I'm in a lot better shape. Because when I'm physically, because I had a knee surgery, I was out for almost 2 years, and that was my first fight back. And then, so it took a little while to get my body back the way it used to be, and now it is. And so, yeah, that's not my normal weight, and I just took that just to fight Hector.
Nice. All right. So I wanted to ask you this. You actually got into the cage with Nick Diaz. You have a win over Nick Diaz. Did you watch his return fight on Saturday night?
Yeah. Fucking.
What were your thoughts?
What's up?
I was gonna say, what were your thoughts on his performance with Robbie?
Yeah, I was looking at that very, very close, because I was talking to people from the UFC about fighting Nick again. So, and because I've done exceptionally well since I left the UFC, and that's why I thought I was fighting somebody else, and I thought that was before. I thought that I was gonna maybe get a chance to beat his first fight back, which, look, in hindsight, that'd be great. But he just, from watching him all week, he didn't look like himself. I know he didn't fight in 5 years, but which, that's hard in itself. But he did not have the same, he didn't carry himself the same. He didn't act like the same person. At weigh-ins, he didn't make eye contact with Robbie. Robbie, then he looked at Dana and doing things that are very uncharacteristic of me. When he got in the cage, you can tell he didn't want to be there. And he even said after the fight, like, he said he had it coming. So from what I get, things that Jake said that he was pushed into that fight and kind of respect. He started to get his rhythm a little more as the fight went on, but when the fight started, he looked slow and putting his punches together. He started to get better as the fight went on, but he even quit. Besides Jeremy Jackson stopping him like his third fight, no one's ever finished Nick. And then I've seen him take a fucking beating and keep coming. And I was just to take a knee from with a broken nose is a little bit shocking. It shows that he didn't want to be there.
Yeah, we agree with you on that assessment. Now, we're gonna go ahead, and your connection's really starting to get choppy, and we're losing you. We are getting the gist of everything you're saying, but we don't want to keep you all night. If the static continues, we'll let you go ahead and say whatever you want to say. Tell us, why it's important to watch this fight on Saturday night, and then we'll let you get on your way.
Okay. Yeah, you gotta make sure everybody's gonna watch this fight. Watch it because it's gonna be fun. You got 2 people that bang, and you got 2 veterans. Anybody that's a fan of old school fighting, so you watch. Yeah, but it's gonna be a good fight. So tune in to watch, and you guys will be disappointed. Thanks for having me on the show, guys.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming on, Joe. All right.
Thanks, man.
Have a good one.
Take care.
Yeah. Sorry about the connection, guys. That is, a thing that we deal with here on the interwebs. I had his, stuff scrolling across the bottom, and people were commenting on that. That dude that we just talked to has been in the ring with anyone and everyone.
Oh, yeah.
He's fought in so many different promotions. He's won titles. He was the middleweight WEC champion. He was the BKB light heavyweight champion. 70 fights in pro MMA. 49 of them were wins. It's just
the Von Flu, son.
Yeah, dude. And dude, look at that. Nick Diaz, Chris Lytle, Kendall Grove, Rob Kimmins. We got Shoney Carter. That guy Oleg Olenichev. I can't even say his name right. I'm sorry about that, but that's a bad motherfucker from Russia that Joe probably wasn't supposed to beat, because that was later on in his career. And like he said, if you look at a lot of the guys that just stick around for many, many years, and you look at, like, honestly, I'm not picking on Melvin, but if you put Joe and Melvin's records right next to each other, in the latter part of his career, Joe started winning again and started smoking people left and right. And he went like 19-1 in his last 20 fights. And Melvin has been just he had a hard time getting wins towards the end of his career. So But we did see Melvin put on pretty good performances his last 2 fights and become the victim of a shitty fucking referee call on both of them.
Yeah.
So you gotta imagine that Melvin Gillard has a lot of motivation to get a W this time, especially if he gets a win over a guy like Joe Riggs. He could be maybe fighting Thiago Alves or someone like that. And vice versa, Joe Riggs was winning that Hector Lombard fight. And if the bullshit shorts grabs and the fucking thumb in the eye, didn't happen, he would be 4-0 with a title around his way. He'd be undefeated in bare knuckles still, and another title to his record, which was an already amazing career to begin with. So, I mean, I hope everybody's tuning in on October 9th. What do you say?
Well, he hinted there a couple of times to a fight that is made, and Hunt will not be a part of that fight, as far as I could tell. Did you pick that out?
Yeah, I don't know. I was trying to figure out what he's talking about. Now, for a second there, I thought he was talking about Hector and Thiago Alves.
I think he's saying Hector is fighting someone who I cannot announce,
and I think that
I get the winner.
And I think that he thinks Hector's fighting Thiago Alves for the 185-pound title, right? Okay. This is what Hector said in his Instagram post today. He was supposed to be fighting Thiago Alves for the 185-pound title, but it's not happening anymore. And nobody wants to fight Hector Lombard.
There's not one person I can think of.
Literally no one, he says.
No.
So he was asking the fans, who do you want to see me fight? So I think that Joe Riggs was referring to that. I agree with you. I think that he thinks, or he heard through the grapevine, that Hector and Thiago were going to fight for a vacant 185-pound title, and he was going to get the winner of that after Melvin. The problem is that fight's not happening anymore. So I wonder what they do with Joe Riggs. What I would do with Joe Riggs, and I know that Mike Richmond is 175.
Yep.
But I think that Mike Richmond is so high in the promotion right now and such a big name to go along with Joe Riggs. If he beats Melvin, I would have Richmond and Joe Riggs fight for a 185-pound title. What would you do?
That would be nice. I just don't know. I mean, Mike Richmond,
I know
he fight at 185. Mike Richmond
said it on our show. He said, I have no problem fighting.
He'll go up
175 to 205.
I know, but people say that shit all the time because they're like, I want to fight everybody in the world, but will he actually want to go up and fight? Maybe he will. We got to take him at his word, right? But I just feel like his better place to be right now would be at 175 and take the 175, keep his eye on the prize there. You know what I mean? Because he's right there at the top. And if it's not the next fight if the next fight is not a title shot for him, then the very next one after that has to be, or it'd be a fucking crime.
Okay. So then I have to ask you, Mike, since you are a member of the Bare Knuckle Rankings Committee, shout out to those boys and Mike himself. Who did you guys have ranked at 185 pounds? Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Who's the top 5 in 185 right now? Because I don't even know. Is Scott O'Shaughnessy in there?
Yep.
Is Zion Tomlinson in there?
Yep.
Who else?
All right. So let's see. Off the top of my head, let's see.
Who's number 1 at 185? Is it Yuli?
No. Yuli it was weird because it went from 185 because they got rid of 195, so it's like 186 up to 205. Yes.
So why would they introduce a 185-pound title if the fucking weight class is 186 to 205? I don't get that.
I don't know why they would do that, because I think it's silly that there's a 20-pound gap between the 185 pounds. So it'd be like 176 to 185, and then it's 186 all the way up to 205.
Hey, how about this? How about our boy Travis Thompson in the comments saying, how about Julian Lane?
So
what about
Julian Lane? And Julian Lane's fighting Rickles.
Yeah, at
He's
175 though.
Yep.
Right? I don't know. It's
So-
just it's fucking weird how they do this shit with the titles and whatnot.
The 176 to 185
Yeah.
is Dakota Cochran, Josh Dyer, Scott O'Shaughnessy, Ryan Jones, Jared Warren. And then for the
Scott
180,
O'Shaughnessy then.
186 to 205 is Lorenzo Hunt, Quentin Henry. And then Yuli somehow fell in there because he did all these catch weights at like 195, 190s. He had a couple of those. So it was hard to like place where, you know, obviously we assume he's going to fight at 185, like lower, not in the 186 to 205, because that's about where he should be. And he fought Thiago Alves last. So I think that would be a perfect fit for him down there.
All right. So with that said, thank you to Joe Riggs for coming on. Awesome interview. He had a lot of static, but you could pretty much get the gist of everything that he was saying. He was clear enough. And if you have a problem with that, you can go out to Montana and take it up with Joe Riggs.
Yeah, you do that. Tell me how it worked out.
Yeah, tell me how that works out. We have our second guest in the green room right now. We're going to bring him on. He will be fighting at BKFC Fight Night, Montana as well, October 9th.
Making history.
Yeah.
First fight night
In the state of Montana against a guy named Bryant Acheson. Has I say his name?
Acheson.
Okay.
Yeah.
Acheson. Sorry. I'm a little fucked up.
Yeah, check it out.
Yeah, there we go. Look at that scary motherfucker right there. So we're going to bring him on right now. We're going to talk to him and we're going to see why we need to pay attention to this fight, because I'll be honest with you, it looks like it's going to be a banger. Here we go. Mr. Josh Watson. What's going on, sir?
What's up, guys?
How you doing?
Hey now.
Doing all right.
Staying busy. I saw you did a big news thing this morning. You and Misfit. Was that this morning?
Yeah, it was this morning. It was. Let's be real. She's the name. It was more her. I was just in the background.
Well, you know what? You look
nothing wrong with that.
Right. Yeah. I don't have a big head. It doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah, man. So it's pretty cool. You're making your bare knuckle debut in Montana at the very first event out there. You've taken a long time off from competitive combat sports world. Have you stayed busy? Have you never stopped training in the meantime? And what made you decide, you know what, it's time for me to step into the squared circle and throw some bare hands?
Well, when BKFC came on the map, I wanted to do it immediately. That just it draws to me. I want to have that gnarly, bloody brawl. Just I want that, you know, and not just on the other end. Like I want someone to bring that out of me as well. I was active a lot, but I mean, life. When you get older, life comes at you. You got a mortgage now, got a kid, got payments, and you know can't live that early 20s dream of just training and living off breadcrumbs and working 3 days a week. You know, scraping by. So work came first. Then kind of nothing. There was no goal. Sadly, I'm kind of the person that I need a goal. I need something to strive for, to do it for. Got into powerlifting. If you go on my Instagram, you'll see a shit ton of powerlifting. I was benching 500 last year.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nothing but a peanut.
Nothing but a peanut. Lightweight, baby.
Lightweight.
But yeah, so as soon as that came, like I stepped back in the gym during the quarantine. Nothing was going on. No one was working. I was like, cool, I'm just going to train. You know, my gym was open, so I started training. Tried to stay focused on just doing, you know, jiu-jitsu and just kind of the martial art of it. Frank Mir was in. He's been kind of had that carrot held out in front of him to do BKFC for a while. I don't know what's holding up on him getting a fight, but I started training for him because I think they were telling him that in February they were trying to get him on a card. And then so like in December, January, we were working together. And then, you know, at that point I was like, bro, I'm just going to ride your coattails. I'm like, I want you to get a fight. I don't care if I have to pay for my own trip out. I'll be in your corner so I can meet Dave Feldman and I can be like, yeah, it's my training partner. this guy over here.
Yeah.
You know, so I can get that nod because, you know, it's hard to break in, you know, with as small of a roster that BKFC has. It's hard to make that cross over that line because, you know, you're pulling from MMA, you're pulling from boxing, and, you know, and you're pulling from a lot of veterans that have names. So I was just like, whatever I need to do, because, you know, I want to do that. And then I helped Mir get ready for his Triller fight. I was probably one of his main sparring partners every single week. And it just kind of gone from there. And once that's kind of started happening and I was sparring multiple times a week, I was able to keep my body healthy enough just boxing. And I was like, yeah, this is the direction I need to go. Because, you know, MMA waved bye-bye to me a while ago with being old. You know, yeah. I think I think, you know, I'll admit I'm not much of a podcast listener. Again, like, I'm busy. I still work 45 hours a week. You know, I don't have much downtime just to sit on my phone and listen to people talk about the sport. So, but I'm willing to bet a lot of the veteran guys, the guys who are in my age bracket that are, you know, stepping away from MMA and going into bare knuckle, they're probably in the same boat. It's easier on the body.
Yeah, well, a lot of just like what you said, less grappling. They're not rolling on the mats every day. They're focusing on their stand up and their clinch game, and that's about it. And
no one's kicking their knees.
No one's kicking them. No one's kneeing them. No one's throwing elbows anymore. It's
wrestling.
No wrestling. Yeah, it's a nice little breath of fresh air for someone who just likes the sport of violence. You know what I mean?
Right. And that even being said, like I always viewed my fighting, my MMA as well-rounded. I wasn't just a boxer that liked MMA. I was, you know, very, you know, well-rounded. Yeah, whatever. You know, I never got scared when I got on the ground and whatever. So it's actually been a bit of a change up for me just training boxing.
Well, I would imagine you did some rolling with Frank, right? So if you can,
no, honestly, no. The only time we did it was very, very briefly when, for a moment there, they tried to get him on the first Gamebred card, and he was like, "Bare knuckle MMA, let's go." And it's like, all right, let's do some MMA shit. And at that time too, I was still kind of getting that carrot at that point, like dangled in front of me, like trying to get a fight. And, you know, BKFC's always, you know, waits that last second to announce all their fights. So like it's not like most MMA where it's like, hey, 12 weeks out, where you sign a contract and you even have 3 weeks just to still dick off.
Right.
This is, you need to already be in camp. You need to already be ready. And then, boom, you have a fight. All right, here's a few weeks just to fine-tune everything and get your cardio dialed in.
Yeah, it's tough. I'm sure the sponsors is hard because you have to say, hey, I'm supposed to be fighting. It's not announced yet, but I promise you your money will not go to waste on me, you know? You got to prove it somehow.
For this fight, actually, pretty much almost all of my sponsors for this fight are all my close friends from high school, people I grew up with, one of my brothers, you know, like people are, you know, I have actually like for not doing anything for 7 or 8 years. I can't remember where my last fight was. I have a very strong following back home in Maine, and I got, you know, everybody chomping at the bit, you know. One of the posts that Jules created for me, like it was like hey, let BKFC know that, you know, Josh belongs in the organization. Like had almost 400 shares just of my friends, you know, and that's just on Facebook support. Just getting flooded. Right. I have great support. I sell out arenas. I had my first fight in Portland, Maine, and I sold personally $17,000 worth of tickets.
Holy shit. Wow, that's
that's you know Marcus Davis, right? Yeah, you know Marcus Davis, the Irish hand grenade.
Yep.
I sold 3 times the amount of tickets he did.
Holy
he
crap,
sold
man.
something like 45. He sold like 4,500, and at that point, he was already a UFC vet. He already had his career in the UFC, and he was just kind of taking fights in Maine to kind of bring attention to MMA in Maine. And he sold like 4,500, and I sold 17.
We've had a few Maine fighters on here. We had Bruce Boyington on. We had Chris Sorrow. You know these
Joe
guys?
Riggs. Joe Riggs is from Maine.
Originally.
Is he?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I'll have to catch up to him in Montana and talk about it.
Yeah, he was born there. I don't know how long he lived there, and then he moved to Arizona. But
okay.
Yeah, man, that's incredible that you have such a large fan base. That's amazing, and it's kind of like, honestly, I'm not trying to toot our horn. We're from New England as well. That's kind of a New England thing, man. New England's a tight knit community, and if like Connecticut, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Vermont people hear that you're fighting pro and you're from Maine, we kind of like consider you one of our own, and we support the guy from Maine. You know what I mean? Being a New Englander.
Yeah, I think that has to do with New England sports in general. You know, the Patriots, Red Sox. I mean, Red Sox are everybody in New England's team. And so I think that kind of falls in line. If someone's from Massachusetts and they make it to that next level, everybody in New England supports them like they're from their hometown.
Right. It's weird that you get one team for multiple states, and then you go to like California and there's multiple teams for one state, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, look at I live in Las Vegas. There's more people in the Valley of Las Vegas than there is in the entire state of Maine. So, it's all spread out crazy.
Hey, let me ask you about your opponent coming up. What can you tell us about him? Because honestly, we didn't know much about him, and we're Googling him. And, the top thing we saw was a report that, he probably doesn't want out there.
Right.
And then the second one was, the second one was he's 1-0. He has a 1-0 pro record.
1-0 MMA, 1-0 boxing.
But he's from Billings, Montana. So that's all I know.
I found there's like 3 different things I saw with his record. I saw one record that was like 4-3. I'm assuming that might have been his amateur record. I think it's because Tapology usually has your pro and your amateur, and Tapology didn't record any of his amateur, and it just has his pro being 1-0. So I don't know either. We did some extra digging, and there's some like old school looking like headgear pro boxing from back in like 2008, 2009 videos. Yeah, we found some of that, which
it's really weird.
You can't pull much of any information off of a video from over a decade ago.
It's really tough. It is tough. If you look, on Tapology, he's got his 1 canceled bout and 1 win as pro. So it has him as 1-0. But if you do scroll down, there's 3 amateur fights there. And then I found one boxing match that he had that he won. Yeah, I've never seen.
And then you can find somewhere on YouTube. I found one fight, and that's the thing is like those amateur fights. Did it actually give an opponent? Because I don't think it does. I found one. Is one of them like a single word name, like Savage or something?
No, I got Hunter Walking Eagle.
Oh yeah. No, he did. He fought a guy named Savage. Yes.
There you go.
That's the only video MMA. Yeah, that's the only MMA video I can find on him.
Oh.
But that to me seemed like it was amateur because he threw a knee to the head and the ref stopped the round. Like they timed out. So that to me says that there was no knees to the head, so it's probably an amateur.
Yeah, it's got to be weird. Like I don't know. I don't think a guy like yourself, taking a look at you, dude, I can imagine that you don't give a fuck what this guy's background is.
No.
You know what I mean? You're throwing 500 pounds up like it's a pillow. You know what I mean? You're just gonna go in there and fucking smoke them and get out of there. With that said, somebody in the comments says, How long is this fight going to go? I feel like it's going to be a quick knockout. You feel like going in there and just making a statement real quick?
Yeah. I want to increase my stock. I don't want to go back to the drawing board and have to like sit there and You know, hey, give me fight. Hey, give me fight. Hey, give me fight. I want to knock him out. I was told today they give out knockout bonuses, which I was like, hell yeah. Like, give me the knockout of the night. You know, I want that. And I want fans to like me and to want me back so that, you know, in 2 months, I'm on another card, you know?
So
There's like the way I look at it is I don't lie to myself in the fact that I'm old. I got an extinction point. Like I'm not going to be able to train for and fight for years and years and years and years and years. I want to go out. I want to have a nice little career, have a handful of fights, and you know, have fun. Like to me, this is fun. I have nothing to prove. I'm not chasing a career. I'm not doing it for the money. I'm literally doing this to fight, to punch somebody in the face, for me to get punched in the face. I want to put on a show, and you know, and most importantly, I want to give my friends and my family and all my fans something to watch and cheer for. Like I got so many people like waiting, and they, you know, for this to happen so they can watch me do what they haven't seen me doing forever.
that's awesome. Now, hypothetically, let's just pretend, not asking you to look past your opponent or anything, but earlier you were saying, you know, there isn't a whole lot of fighters on the BKFC roster, but at heavyweight, there's a good group of fighters in that weight class. And, you know, a lot of them are standing at, you know, 1-0 and 2-0. So you could very well be fighting a quote unquote named fighter, someone that's, you know, if you watch BKFC, that, you know, you could be fighting one of those guys like immediately.
That's what I want.
Who would you want to fight? Like Alan Belcher, 1-0 Alan Belcher? He just jumped in there. Would that be someone that you're interested in next? Or, you know, who do you look at and say, I want to fight that guy, you know?
Honestly, I'm not. I mean, without trying to sound cocky, like I'm not afraid of nobody. I'll fight whatever. I mean, realistically, it doesn't hurt to get knocked out. You know, it's fun. Like I want to go out and I want to have fun. When Belcher's name was out, I was like, whatever, give him to me. I remember back when Bigfoot Silva was announced that he was fighting. And like I think like the BKFC posted like, oh, blah, 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 Bigfoot Silva, who should be his first opponent? I was the first comment, and I did the little fucking emoji. Me, I'll take it. Let's go. Whatever. I'll fight Bigfoot Silva. I don't care. You know, it doesn't matter. Like, you know, I'm not in the game of calling out people, mainly because I don't know nobody. I don't have anything against anybody, you know, there's no, I don't know. That's what matchmakers are for. That's, you know, but I mean, but I say this though, I mean, realistically fighting someone like Belcher only because like, for one,
name recognition for sure.
Name recognition. Exactly. And for two, he has the world's worst tattoo in the fucking ever. Worst tattoo ever.
Which tattoo would that be?
Oh.
The fucking character of the humongous fucking watermelon head Johnny Cash.
Yeah. It's the best worst tattoo of all time. That's what John Nutt called it, the best worst tattoo he's ever seen.
You got money. Cover it up. Get rid of it.
I can tell you right now, dude, fans of this show will tune in and see this and say that guy needs to fight Josh Burns at some point. Like, just
it's funny you say that. Like me and I'll be honest, me and Josh have kind of connected a little bit. He was like, you know, when I was trying to get some clout, when I was trying to, you know, get some movement and try to get some traction and get on a card, he was even trying to help out with like throwing out my name here and there. And, you know, we've talked a bunch, and you know, I from day one kind of started off by kind of like being like, all right, how do you do this online? Poke a bear, like create some social media drama and try to like get a fight, you know? And I attempted that, and he just responded with like the nice, like, much respect, bro. All right, thank you. And I'm like, well, that didn't fucking work at all. Yeah. You know, like there was a fight way back when he fought Justin Wren, you know, and I've told him this too, like it pissed me off. It was for Bellator, and I don't know, I could be lying or be wrong, but I was told like the purse was going to be like 35, and it came down to me and Josh Burns. And basically, they chose Josh Burns because he was already contracted to Bellator. And I watched that fight, and it was the most heartbreaking, frustrating fight because Josh couldn't knock him out. And literally, I think in the third round, they both stopped, put their hands on their knees, and like took like a mutual, like, hey, let's take a break. And they stopped for like 15, 20 seconds. So the ref's like, let go, like fucking go. You know, and it was frustrating because I looked at it as I would have gone out there and, you know, balls to the wall and been like, yeah, semi short notice fight. I think it would have been like 2 or 3 weeks to get ready. I wouldn't have been in amazing shape. I would have put it all on the line and I would have knocked Justin Wren's ass out in the first round. You know? So I was like, you know, kind of like, right. That's life changing.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I was kind of like, I've always kind of had like, damn it, Burns, like, how the hell, why'd you get that fight? And you got that fight and you didn't show up. And I tried to even give him shit about that online. He's like, yeah, man, that was a terrible performance. I wish I had more time. You know, and I'm like, fuck, you're not even getting pissed off. I'm trying to like kind of be a dick and you're not even taking it. Well, I'm like, well, I don't know. But that's what I've heard, though. Josh is a super nice guy. And, you know, every time I post anything online, he's just like, can't wait to meet you. Can't wait to see you do your work. You know, he's actually become like a fan of me in the sport. And I'm like, all right. But it's funny, though, because me and him we're about the exact same. I mean, he has to cut to make 265. I got like maybe 2 pounds I'm going to have to shed. And we're like the same height. He's covered in tattoos. We got like the same facial hair. It'd just basically be like a mirror fight, like both of us looking the exact same.
That's freaking awesome, man. Well, we are definitely looking forward. And I mean, you go into the comment section of this show right now, and like everybody is just like I'm gonna tell you that half of them are probably looking up who you are right now, and the other half are just staring at you like that. I can't wait to see this motherfucker smash somebody. This is great.
I'm trying to.
And you can't actually can't actually see the guy. You got to go over to his Instagram page and actually look at him standing next to other people. That'll be like, think Josh Burns. Think Josh Burns. He's a massive dude.
He's a
like
massive
Josh
dude.
Burns. Yes.
And like you said, you're trying to build a fan base. And what we do on this show to build a fan base, we do a 10-question fun thing called the speed round, which is not really fight related questions, but this will give people an
barn burners
about your personality. Here we go.
Okay.
Speed round.
We're doing anything really.
Number one.
All right.
Biggest pet peeve.
Of course, the audio fucks up as soon as you start doing round one. Back it up.
What is your biggest pet peeve?
Yeah, and my biggest pet peeve: negative people. I fucking hate negative people. Don't sit around and be a sourpuss about like shit not working out for you. Like fucking move on, shut your mouth, and do something about it yourself. Don't complain.
Outstanding. Number 2, Mike.
What is the weirdest text that you have ever received?
I don't know.
Has anybody sent you an accidental nude? Oh, sorry, that was supposed to go to my girlfriend.
No. I mean, I have a bunch of friends that like, you know, the big ass black dude sitting on the edge of the bed with his huge dick. I mean, I've had that sent to me about a million times.
Big Wood.
Sure. Yeah.
We know that guy.
Yeah. You know, I've had that sent to me a million times, you know,
sitting in a field.
I mean, that's been worse.
I got him like stopping traffic, sitting in a field, choking somebody out.
I got the one where like there's a person like landing with a like a parachute, and you follow it and you follow it and you follow it, and all of a sudden it just pans into a huge dick, and you're like,
dude,
I get that shit.
I hate when it's like a crazy thing I got one time is there was I went out to breakfast. I was in Alabama on like a trip, right? We're both in the military. So we were on like a trip for work. I work on
so you guys get these texts all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, it's ridiculous. So I'm sitting in, I think it's called Shoney's, right? It's like a breakfast buffet in there. So I get up early, I leave the hotel, I go eat breakfast by myself. Fucking grown ass man, I'm sitting there and I get a thing and it's like, oh, this dude took off what are those fucking things they put on the tires? The like so the car can't leave. The boot. I was gonna smoke the shoe, right? So I was like, oh, this dude takes it off. So I was like, how the fuck do you take that thing off? Right. So I click on the video and all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, and it's like fucking moaning
The
like
loudest shit ever.
loud, like just amped up so loud, right?
Yep.
So I'm like, I panic and I'm like, stop. I'm trying to stop, and I'm missing the button and shit. I'm like, fuck, and I shut it off, right? And there's like a couple sitting right next to me, and then there's like other people over there, and I'm by myself, and I'm like, oh my god, and they're laughing, and I was like, no, I wasn't in uniform.
Oh,
so I like hold up my phone and I was like, I said, I got to show you. I'm not watching porn
I gotta
at
show
6:30
you.
in the morning. You know what I mean? Like, I got to show you. So I like got to walk up to these people and be like, look, it's just a prank. Like, I'm not a sicko sitting in this freaking breakfast buffet. Jesus.
All right. Enough dick talk. Number 3. If you could fight anyone from any time, who would it be?
I don't know. Probably one of the Paul brothers, so I can make money.
There you go. That's a good answer in a speed round for sure.
I mean,
Number 4. Here we go.
All right. Tattoos. What's your favorite tattoo?
I've never had tattoos are for pussies. Tattoos are for pussies. That's my answer.
He's got no tattoos. 0.
Tattoos. Now, most painful, top of the head, fucking hurt. Oh, you said favorite. Portrait of my son on my chest would be my favorite.
Yeah.
Or I guess that's my most. Okay, that one's my most meaningful, I guess. Favorite.
There's a million.
Anybody who has a lot of fucking tattoos knows that once you get like 3 or 4 out the window, it's all art after that.
Yeah.
I guess the most significant will be there we go. Stay down.
Stay down.
Nice. And do you regret any of them?
Yeah, not because of like what it is, more so the placement. When I was young, I got a handful of them before I was like 21, and they all not necessarily they suck. It's the fact of it used up valuable landscape. I want to have a big ass back tattoo, and it's like, wow, fuck, now we have to cover up these 2 tattoos, or like it just used up space, and I just at that point in time I wanted it. Actually, okay, I got it. Most regrettable, I have a juggalo tattoo.
Oh, whoop whoop.
Exactly. But I instead of covering it up, which I could have easily done, I did a fail stamp over it.
Oh, that's
so you can still see it. And it's something to laugh at myself about. Like, people will look at it and be like, "That's a fail." I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Fuck, that's a juggalo. That's a hatchet man. Damn it."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great, man. All right, number 5. Tell us a crazy story from your high school.
Crazy story from my high school. Okay. I didn't drink in high school. My first time drinking was my graduation party. But I went to parties every single weekend, and I would try to come up with fun-ass ways to entertain myself. One of them would be going in the bathroom, tucking my dick between my legs, standing there butt naked in the dark, so when people walked in, they turned the light on, there I was. And it was fun.
Yes, that's fantastic, dude.
Very nice.
That's fucking great.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah, for the Juggalo fans that just said that you lost them, now you're back.
Now I'm back
Now
in.
you gained all the Silence of the Lambs fans.
Yeah, I'd fuck me.
Listen, to go back to the Juggalo thing, I'll still listen to ICP from time to time. I'm just not a Juggalo, if that counts for anything.
All right, number 6, Mike.
Favorite horror movie in light of Halloween coming up?
Oh, I mean, there's so many to choose from. I'll just say the Friday the 13th series. Just I was raised on it. Like, I mean, I remember being 5, 6, 7 years old, watching them growing up, and it kind of probably desensitized me to where shit doesn't bother me later on in life. But I mean, I just remember like people's heads getting chopped off left and right, and me just being like, "Yeah, awesome."
Yeah, and people making out. It's the best.
Yeah.
Best
Right.
of both worlds,
Right.
Gratuitous titties.
And they tried to teach you a lesson, like, don't have premarital sex. Jason will fucking kill you. But it's like, no, you're not scaring me.
I'm gonna risk it.
I'm gonna risk it.
They just remade.
It's like COVID is a very low chance.
Yeah. Exactly. They just remade my favorite horror movie, and I haven't watched the remake yet. But Candyman was my shit back in the day. I loved Candyman.
I enjoyed Candyman. I've heard some good and bad reviews on the new one. I don't know. I'd have to see it. Yeah.
All right, number 7. Do you love?
I fucking love pumpkin spice. I fucking love pumpkin spice. Love it, love it, love it. Listen, I make the bombest fucking chocolate chip pumpkin muffins. Don't give a shit.
Awesome.
Ask anybody who's had it. They're fucking amazing. During this time, like I had Time Hop Pop. Yeah, you love it, right?
I do.
Maine, Dunkin' Donuts in Maine releases pumpkin spice like a month before anybody else does, and I was home in like fucking September or August a few years ago, and I went to Dunkin'. I'm like, you already have pumpkin spice? Like, yeah. And I'm like, fuck yes, let's do this. The place close to my old work, they gave me the full-on fucking pump flavoring of it. I paid $20. He's like, here, have it.
That's awesome.
That's
I love it too.
funny.
I'm right there with you. You know what's really good is the cold foam from Starbucks. They got the cold foam. So if you get the cold brew with the cold foam, it's fantastic.
See, you curveballed me. Being vets, I figured you guys wouldn't support Starbucks.
Well,
I haven't had Starbucks in like 7 years. I haven't had Starbucks in 7 years.
Mike is pretty bougie. You know what I'm saying? You know.
Hey, I spend $6 on like 5-6 days a week at Dutch Brothers. Have you had Dutch Bros?
No,
I don't know what's that.
I don't think so.
Yeah, Dutch Brothers. Their menu is online because it's too many things to post on. You'd need like 7 boards for their menu. They have so many different flavor options, and it's all blended. My go-to is a dark chocolate 911, which is 6 shots of espresso and fucking just chocolate, and it's blended, and it's amazing.
Yeah,
that
sounds great.
I gotta be honest with you. I didn't see the love for pumpkin spice coming at all. I didn't. See
I asked Kyle. I asked Kyle if he's had it. He's like, no, I haven't. And that's the thing. Like you know, there's pancakes, muffins, like you said, donuts. There's coffee. There's whatever. And like, hey, what I tried it. I said, this is delicious. Let me try a different thing. Let me try, and it's all been pretty damn good. So hey, fuck it.
Yeah.
Fuck all the memes out there and all that shit. They're missing out.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's just the flavor. That's the thing. Like, if it wasn't a joke, it would literally just be a flavor. So someone could take chocolate and make it a stupid meme, and everyone going to stop eating chocolate now. You know what I mean? Come on.
No, I mean, granted, they don't make Uggs big enough for my feet. You know, I like pumpkin spice enough. I might buy Uggs.
Hey, you know what? Here's the thing. Tom Brady's an Ugg. They make men's Uggs now. So
she said, hey, Joe Ivy said someone
get this man a pair of Uggs. Yeah.
All right. All right. Let's move on to the next one. Mike, go ahead.
All right. Best thing to do in the fall.
Pumpkin spice.
Pumpkin spice. No, you go to Maine, go to southern Maine, and you go to Randall's Apple Orchard, and you pick fucking apples. That's what you do.
There you go.
That's my family's apple orchard back home.
What? Say it again. Like Randall's.
Randall's Apple Orchard. It's in Standish, Maine. That's my family's apple orchard. My grandfather passed away a few years ago. Man, my uncle took it over, and he's just changed so much stuff, and it's amazing. It's thriving, and it's awesome. And so many, it's in my hometown. So many people go there, and I just love seeing all the pictures of all my friends back home picking apples in Maine. Anytime anybody's like heading back that way, they're like, oh, what do I do? And I'm like, go there, pick apples. That's a New England thing. Go pick apples. They do hay rides. They have, pick your own, earlier in the season, they got different fruit, blueberries and strawberries and stuff. And yeah, apples.
I mean, if you guys are not a fan of this guy after this show, then you're fucking wrong. Okay, number 9.
Yeah, damn douchebag is what you are.
Hey.
Here we go.
How are you from Maine and not a Patriot fan?
Oh, how'd you already know that?
I did a little bit of research on you.
Oh, nice.
What is
when I was younger, I moved out. I lived in Alaska for a little bit, so I wasn't even when I learned about football. I wasn't even in New England. For like a moment, I was a San Fran fan because on the West Coast, that's like, you had Steve Young, Jerry Rice, and they were on TV every single weekend. No matter what you had to watch the 49ers. So therefore, I was impressionable. I was in 4th and 5th grade. I was like, all right, I like 49ers. When I came back to Maine, the Patriots still sucked. I didn't really have anybody in my life to kind of like push, like everybody typically influence. Yeah. People are influenced by their, stepdad or your dad or somebody being like, you have to like the Patriots. This is a Patriot family. I didn't have that. And, and that was when the Steelers were doing amazing and they had a badass defense. And I just liked, I enjoyed watching them play. Their defense was fucking killing everybody. Like Greg Lloyd would rip people's heads off daily. You had Kevin Green, Greg Lloyd, Levon Kirkland, and Chad Brown as the 4 linebackers, and they just were nightmares. Whereas now you get one guy on the team who's really, really good. You had 4 fucking guys who are all, Pro Bowl worthy. They're all amazing. And that's what drew me in to actually like it. It wasn't so much a team, it was the team play. It was how they would just be ruthless and blitz every single play and just fucking kill everybody.
Well, I can't hate that answer.
So that's why. I mean, and then once the Patriots got good, I kind of just was like, I don't know, turn my nose up to it just because I'm far from a follower and I wasn't about to abandon the team that I like to like the Patriots for the sake of liking the Patriots because that's where I live. And then just the more Tom Brady won, it just pissed me off even more. And then Belichick pissed me off more. And listen, and now's the fucked up part. Now that Tom Brady's in Tampa Bay, I enjoy seeing him do well. I don't know why. I've changed my mind. And then also on top of it, now that Tom Brady, I think it's just because Tom Brady and Belichick aren't together anymore. Because now I'm interested in New England doing better. Maybe because I hated the Patriots, I was the only motherfucker rooting for Cam Newton last year. Cam Newton is fruity as fuck, but he's weird. But you know what that man does? Every time he gives that ball away in the end zone to a kid, he willingly takes something like a $5,000 fine.
Yeah. It is pretty
And
cool.
I mean, think about how many times he rushed for touchdowns. It's like a $5,000 fine. He does it with a smile on his face, changes some kid's life. That right there is a huge, nod to him. And the other thing was he was like, look, I have a lot to prove. That man took a $1 million contract. There was backups making 10 times the amount as he was.
Yeah,
he took a $1 million contract and said, let me prove myself. Right. He was like, let me prove myself. And all he had to throw to was what? Randall Edelman?
Yeah, Julian Edelman.
That was his own. It was Julian. That was the only person he had. And you had all these Patriots fans. Fuck Cam Newton. He sucks. We suck. And I'm like, what are you guys talking? Way to turn your back on your team. You don't even support this guy. And I'm like, look on the outside. You have no receiving core. They just triple team this motherfucker. And guess what? Everybody else just drops the ball because they all suck.
Yep.
Right. The guy took $1 million to try to prove himself, and he didn't have a receiving core to back him up. So whatever, it's not a
bunch of dickhead Patriot fans is what it comes down to.
Right. And everybody in New England is that way. The moment it starts turning, they're like, fuck this team. These guys fucking suck. Change the TV. Same thing happened the same thing happens when the Red Sox start sucking. Like the year after they won the World Series, everybody was all geeked out, and then they sucked, and everybody was pissed.
This is fucking awesome, man. Oh man, great answers. Before we ask you, we have to ask you, do you watch The Sopranos?
I used to, yeah. I mean, obviously I don't watch it now.
Yeah, right. Okay. Well
on Friday.
The Friday night. The movie's coming out. Mike, go ahead. Last question.
It's a movie?
There's a movie called The Many Saints of Newark, and it is the prequel to the Sopranos series. It's about Dickie Moltisanti in the bringing up of Tony Soprano, and it looks amazing.
I've seen previews of it. I've seen previews of it, and I thought it was a new series. I didn't realize it was a movie.
Yeah.
No,
it is a movie.
Okay.
So here's our final question.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
we might have a bonus. Who is your favorite Sopranos character? If you remember from back in the early 2000s.
I mean, realistically, without sounding fucking whatever, but Tony. The biggest scene it was funny because I was watching Sopranos when I was taking sociology and shit in college, and they did a really good job of making his character be legit sociopath, like on every level. And the part that stands out to me, two parts that stood out to me, was when he beat the shit out of his nephew for not that he was doing heroin, but the fact that he nodded off and fell asleep on the chihuahua and killed the dog.
Yes.
Like he was all like, "Oh, you were fucked up. Whatever. You killed the fucking dog," and he went off on him. And then on the same note, who was the guy who burnt down the fucking horse stables for the insurance payoff?
Yeah, Ralph Cifaretto.
Ralphie got a fucking bullet for that, right? He got shot for that one.
He got his head beaten.
He died. At the end of the day, he was dead.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, that, those reasons being, I guess, that kind of shines a little bit of light on the fact that I value an animal's life more than I value a human's life. I've walked out of a food, like a restaurant thing, had some to-go food, and there was a guy sitting there, and he's like, "Hey, you got any money to spare? I got to buy dog food." And he had a dog with him, and I was like, "No, bro, I don't. Sorry." And I literally go, "But I got this food," and he lit up, and I walked over, opened it, put it on the floor, and let his dog eat it. And I sat there while his dog ate the whole thing, so he couldn't take the food away from his dog.
Because it's like for you,
fuck that guy. Right, exactly. Like the dog, you're keeping the dog on the leash. Like that dog's gonna offend better if you let him go wild, and maybe he can fucking eat some food out of a dumpster that you aren't noticing, but you're not even letting him, scavenge for himself. So, fuck you.
Man, great.
That's how I feel.
Great speed round. We got a bonus question for you because we think that you might be into something like this. What is your favorite firearm?
My 300 Blackout.
There you go. See, I knew the guy was going to have to
not because of the rounds. Not because the fucking rounds are expensive. I probably would have I've actually talked 3 people out of buying a 300 Blackout once I told them to do a research on how much the fucking ammo costs.
Oh god,
shit's
crazy
expensive. Well, still, you can get some. I've just recently got 1,000 223 rounds, and I got 509 mil rounds for okay prices. But during the COVID closure, I was going to Cabela's and fucking Bass Pro Shop and all the places, just scavenging the shelves. And only thing I could really find, only thing I could find was the 300 because it's such a rare round. But no shit, like 20 rounds for $45. And they weren't inflated. Yeah, it was nuts. They weren't inflating them because they're like, some asshole's gonna buy it. That's the cost year round. Shit's expensive, but I like it. It's small, fits in a backpack, real nice.
Yeah. So me and my dad, anywhere we go, we try to see if we can get either 223 or 556. Just because it's impossible to get now. And I'll call my old man up. I'll be like, "Hey, they got 6 boxes. You want me to just grab? Yeah, grab them all. Grab them all. Just grab them."
Yeah. You're lucky you can grab them all because in Vegas you had a 2-box limit.
Oh Jesus!
No matter what size the box, you could find a box of 50, 100. You can get 2 boxes. Like I had to buy. There was 4 boxes of those 300s. And luckily, my girlfriend was with me, and they're like, "You can only buy 2." And I'm like, "What?" And she's like, "Give 2 to her. I'll bring you in. Hand her the card." I'm like, "That's fucking stupid."
Ask him if he can buy 2 for you.
You're giving me the loophole. I'm like, right. I'm like, "Can I just swipe my card twice standing here. They're like, no, we got to kind of make it look good on the cameras. I'm like, this is stupid. But yeah, they're expensive as hell. My buddy, one of my sponsors, he's like a brother to me. He's very, very, very into the gun world and all that stuff. He was in the Army, and he has a lot of connections. And Vegas does gun shows all the time, always. And whenever there's a gun show coming, somebody will hit him up, and we'll go buy almost all the guy's ammo before he actually hits the floor. Like, we'll meet him in like a fucking parking lot before, the day before because they'll go into the gun show. Yeah, well, they'll go in the gun show and have like, a few thousand rounds because, hey, that's all we got, like buy what you can. And obviously the first people in the door are going to suck them right up. But we'll end up like talking to the guy ahead of time and just buying them from him before the doors even open. So that's how he was like, hey, you want to split a box of 500 223? And I'm like, no. And he goes, why not? I go, because I want 1,000 myself. I'm not splitting shit.
I want them all.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have a few thousand rounds, and to me, I'm like, people are like, you want to go shoot? And I'm like, no. Like, why? And I'm like, I don't got ammo to waste. Right. Well, that's the thing too.
2,000 rounds isn't enough to go out wasting shit.
Right. We used to
well, we're breaking up.
Yeah, we used to have shooting parties at my old man's house behind the garage at my old man's house, and 15, 20 people would come over. Everybody would bring guns. We'd pop off 3,000, 3,500 rounds in a day over there. We haven't had one of those parties in 2 years because it's not worth it.
No, it's not.
Just sad.
I grew up in small ass town in Maine, and we lived. My grandparents. Me and my mom lived with my grandparents, and we were probably 50 feet off of the main road. Like, there's a road. It goes from Portland, Maine, all the way across, and I'm pretty sure it goes all the way to Vermont, Route 25. And we're on the main drag, and we would just sit out there and just fire guns all day long. Didn't even matter. Just go, just fire. No one gave two shits.
Yeah.
Back in the day. Like, I was doing cell phone towers with friends, and we had afternoon to kill. And I'm like, hey, you guys want to go to my grandparents' house and shoot my AK-47? Like, yeah, let's do it. It's fun.
Well, hopefully we can get back to that soon. God damn it.
Right.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man.
Yeah, right.
Well, Josh, I think that you have shown people your personality tonight. You are going to do something special in Montana on October 9th.
Yep.
This has been a fucking awesome interview with you, and you are welcome back anytime because we really are cut from the same cloth for sure. Before we let you go, say a few last things before we let you go. Tell everybody what's going to happen on October 9th and why they need to tune in.
If you haven't gotten the BKTV app yet, go to my Instagram and download or hit the link in my profile, download the app, give me the credit, and tune in on the 9th and watch me get a quick ass KO and, follow my career because it's going to be eventful.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much for coming on. Mike, you got anything else?
No, man. Thank you. I agree totally with Kyle. You're welcome back anytime. Great interview. Great personality. Can't wait to see you fight on October 9th.
You should. Great personality. You should see me when I've had a few drinks in me. It's way better.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I believe you.
We'll make it a point. Yeah. Mike and I go to a lot of the events live. Those ones way out in the Midwest, we're not getting to these ones, unfortunately.
Okay.
We will make it a point to have a cocktail or two with you at one of the Biloxi or Florida events or something like that down there, man.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Sounds good.
Thank you for coming on. You have yourself a great night.
Thank you very much for having me.
Take it easy. Dude, what a fucking awesome show.
Yeah, that was cool.
That guy's cool as hell.
Cool.
And if you guys are not fans of him now after that interview, then you don't have a soul and you could go fuck yourselves.
Yeah, every time we do an interview, somebody comes on And, we don't know most of these people or really any of them before we talk to them on the show and we get to know them, and then you kind of just, immediately once you start talking to someone, couple of sentences, couple of things they say, and you can already start to feel like, all right, I'm really going to like this guy, this girl, whatever, and, usually 99% of the time you're dead right within the first minute, it.
Yeah, and that Mike and myself, we're the best judgment of character on the fucking planet. So if we tell you the guy's cool, he's fucking cool. And if you don't like it, you can fucking go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Ain't that right, Mike?
That's right.
That's it.
If you don't like Josh Watson, you heard what Kyle said. Do it.
Do it. Tomorrow night, guys, we have Tom Schoaf, the mustache himself. We have Randine Ekholm, who I think is going by
Willoughby. Yes.
Is she right? She got married? I don't know.
Perhaps.
Randine Willoughby. She'll be on tomorrow night. So tune in tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Tom Show, followed by Randine, who will be fighting Taylor Starling at that same October 9th event. Tom Show will also be on there that night. So that fight card is really like shaping up to be something nice. You got Misfit on there. You got freaking Riggs and Gillard. Awesome event coming up. Awesome show tonight. And with that said, one last shout out to my grandpa up in heaven who's watching this and really enjoying all the F-bombs that I learned on the farm with him. Greatest man I've ever met in my entire life. Look at that dude. I made that project right there. I had to do a photography project in high school. And being the dipshit high school kid that I was, I put the project, I procrastinated to the very last minute. And 2 days before the project was due, I took my old school camera, whatever you call that thing, and I just followed him around on the farm for a day, took a bunch of pictures of him, went to the school the next day, used the dark room, developed them all, cut them all out, and I made this little collage thing, and that shit ended up in like a museum and for like a year. It was fucking awesome. They like really loved that image of the American working man and shit. So
it's cool.
Yeah. So with that said, I think this is a great show, and I can't wait to talk about everything again tomorrow night. All right. So everybody have yourself a great night and peace.